To order, please join us in our opening ceremonies. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. In time for just a silent prayer. Amen. See, we pray and Olivia rides. So agenda item number 3 is approval of tonight's agenda. Is there a motion to make that approval?
Sure.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Agenda item number 4, is the time that we allow for Orange City residents to come before the council and share any citizen comments on non-agenda items. I'm not sure if anybody's here to do that. Okay, we usually allow 3 minutes, Sarah. Just state your name and
Sarah Weber. And I just want to just kind of pique your interest and have you guys think about a fun opportunity. I reached out to Earl. I guess the park downtown is broken, the main park structure, and I just wanted to encourage council to consider what it would look like to really beef up that space. I've attended several of the small group business meetings, and so many of the downtown small businesses are begging for ways to bring people to downtown again. I think the loss of the elementary school really put a hole in our downtown sector. And one of the joys of my job is meeting people that I would never have met before. Jen is here with me, and she moved here 2 years ago from South Carolina, and she has given me lots of fun ideas and new perspective of just things that she saw that could go downtown. We've talked to several people over the last couple weeks just about ideas. A few that we have include more handicap accessibility for the walkways to connect that area, and then updating the bathrooms more ADA compliant, or even having a few more. But just thinking bigger about that space. Some of the ideas could look like paving in front of the band shell and putting shade structures up that could be an ice skating rink during the winter that would turn to pave in more accessibility in the summer for lots of events. And even could host, City Market could be hosted in that paved area on Saturdays. Splash pad, creating more tables and chairs throughout that area. We're getting the blessings of the new Diamond Vogel Park. And so having something that would bring people to want to sit and stay, shop our local businesses and come downtown. And then just maybe a huge play structure. Lamar's just put in a new one, or updated one. Cleveland Park, is that the name of it?
Yes.
That just has a lot of fun elements that are different, that are drawing people in. If we can't think bigger and have something that could look like that downtown, I would just encourage you guys to think about maybe putting together a focus group. But I just think right now is a great opportunity with the loss of trees, and then kind of it's already torn up already, and we have a broken park, to what we could do that could maybe really encourage bringing more people and business downtown.
Just have you had a chance to talk to Noah at all? Noah, our park, and I just wondered if that was it'd be a good place to.
Well, and I would think if you guys put a focus group together, he would be
for sure in charge. Yeah.
But these are just ideas people have tossed around, but I just really encourage you guys to think big downtown. I think it could be a really amazing way to centralize downtown, and just making that entire area a place of gathering year round.
Very good. Thanks for thinking outside the box, outside the park, outside whatever. So thanks. Anybody else that I missed? I don't think so. So agenda item number 5 is Exhibit 1 in your packet, and that is approval of minutes from September 15, 2025 and September 22, 2025. If you had a chance to review those, I would entertain a motion for approval. Any questions? All those in favor signify by saying yes.
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carries. Agenda item number 6 is a time we have to set a public hearing to amend City Code of Ordinances, and I'm going to call Kurt up as our expert, and he will explain it.
Here from the expert. Yes, basically I set a public hearing for the proposed October 2nd. Basically, the state has gone and updated their codes finally from the 2015. We've always followed the state code. So this will be bringing all of our codes up to meet with what the state has as of July 1st. So we're bringing it up to the 2025 in all the international building codes and 2023 on the electrical code. And then that's basically how it would be stated in the code book. So.
Lots of changes coming, or?
This is probably the first, finally the state said enough change. 18 and 21, there wasn't really enough changes to them to really make it necessary to change it, so then they were waiting until the 2025. So
So
They
this
have
is
bigger-
actually coming from the state to kind
well, they're adopting it, so
Okay.
we're just following behind it, so we could always just say we're following what the state does, because that's
Okay.
what most contractors do on most of the commercial jobs and schools and everything are always following what the state does, so yeah, and there's other talk within the state about being more restrictive on stuff than what they all previously were, so. But this is just get up to code with the state, so.
So you're just looking for the council to make a motion to set the public hearing for October 20.
Yep. So moved. Support.
Any questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And then agenda item 7 is Exhibit 2 in your packet, and this is another public hearing on rezoning of a property.
Yep, so this would be the zoning of the property north of the area, which we call Salem Avenue project. That'd be north of the Dollar Fresh building. There's 2 parcels there owned by Art Perry. So we're asking to set the public hearing for October 20 to rezone this area. Planning and zoning did approve the rezoning of the property. It's currently actually zoned in 2 different zonings, C2 highway commercial and the I-1 light industrial, which is weird, but they got combined when the street went through there, so then when they took the street out, so this will be cleaning it up. There was questions if they wanted to just do the south half, because that's what they're developing, but not knowing what's gonna go to the north, but we're just gonna rezone it all. And then if something changes, we'll just change it on the plat when we do the platting process, if they change anything from R2, so planning and zoning is recommending the change, so for October 20th.
So they are still thinking about doing something different on the north half?
There's potential, yeah, so right now they just got the development up to 6th Street, and then up north of that, then is up for deciding it, so.
So we just need again, a motion for a public hearing on the 20th.
So moved.
Support.
Any other questions?
Kurt, that little piece right behind Dollar Fresh, is that already zoned? Is that theirs, and is that zoned properly?
No, that one, yeah, because that's on the next page, right below there.
Oh,
So they own that one, yeah, so OCPC transferred the ownership to them on that,
Perfect.
so.
but that one's good.
Yep, they're both.
Perfect. Okay, all those in favor signify by saying yes.
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Thank you, Kurt. Agenda item 8 is the gas foreman position. Thank you, Matt, for coming forward and walking us through it.
Yeah, sounds good. So, as you can see, we've been, following the sudden passing of Ed a couple months ago, we've been working with our gas department on moving forward, and just been a good time to for both employees to adjust to the new dynamics there, and Shane has done well to lead the pair and to keep things going. We actually have a gas inspection coming up tomorrow with the Iowa Utility Board that we are having some help come from IEMU for that, which is fortunate. But he reviewed our information and our records a week or 2 ago, and he felt we were in really good shape. So evidence that Ed did a good job, and the 2 guys are continuing that on. So we recommend promoting Shane to that spot, and we will be getting a search for his replacement then in the department. We've talked through some, not only for Shane, but in future situations like this, to look at some training, and Missouri River Energy has a really nice supervisor's essential course that basically is built specifically for this type of a role. That's a year-long program, and continuing on to make that next step in leadership. And so we will probably try that out with Shane and go through that. So recommend that job shift there, and come back and coming meetings for the next one, so.
Does he need any increased level of endorsements? I mean, is that kind of that training that?
There's, for the gas side specifically, they're all pretty much fully qualified. There might be something that Ed did that Shane might, but very minimal.
Okay,
They have
good.
a lot of current certifications that are good to go, so, yeah.
Is there a motion to?
So
Support.
Good, thanks.
Thank you, Matt. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Agenda item number 9 is city administrator position, and there's no action on that position at this time. So that takes us to administrative reports. We're just rolling right along.
Yeah, just maybe building a little bit on what Sarah had to share, just an update on that playground. So after the derecho and the trees fell on that larger piece, we had left it open until it was, actually we had the playground manufacturer, Miracle, was here, and they said it's best to shut it down because of some structural damage. So they gave us some quotes on if we just replaced that piece of equipment. Well, first of all, if we just repaired that piece of equipment, we're looking at about a $75,000 expense. If we replaced it with something very comparable, just again replacing that structure, we're going to be more in the $90,000 to $95,000 range. That would be an installed price. We have turned it into EMC, our insurance carrier, waiting for for them to send an adjuster to take a look and see what actually we would be able to get paid out. So I guess the options would be that we repair, we tear it out, replace, or we move forward with a suggestion that Sarah would have to say, hey, let's look more comprehensively at the rest of the park. If we did that, it'd probably mean that we're without any playground piece there, because we would have to take that out. So you'd be talking about 6 months to a year, I would guess, minimum of the planning and actually restructuring some things there. So we'll just keep you up to date on what the adjuster comes back, because we're not exactly sure if they would insure at replacement value or at if it's a 15-year-old piece of equipment, it's actually at its current value. We'll figure that out and keep you informed a little bit. And I can visit with Noah a little bit about what some of these ideas are. If we choose to go forward to the focus group, we could do that as well. Okay. Kind of tied into that, had some conversation with Noah about our tree replacement plan, since we lost so many trees in Windmill Park and at other places, and we're still waiting for some more trees to be taken down at Vets Park and other city properties, to work over the winter on a tree replacement plan, where the places would be that would make the most sense for us to replace trees. Aesthetic and also functional. Where do we need shade? Where do plants fit into that idea? So we have begun that conversation, and we'll continue it, I think, throughout this fall. Today I had the chance to meet for a little while with Tim Moorman, who was a former city administrator who's working for Beck Engineering. His recommendation on strategic planning is probably a little bit different than what we've done the last couple of years. Something that I'm going to say is a little bit more formative, rather than him collecting information and do a one-day splash, to do something where he collects information from key stakeholders in the community, as well as council and staff members, meet individually with especially council members and key staff members, and then bringing that information together and carrying out what would be the key initiatives, timelines, who's responsible, who those steps would be. And then he would continue to provide guidance to people that need to carry those things out over the course of a year or two. It's a $7,500 investment for us to do that. His recommendation would be to wait to do that until new council and staff are in place starting in January or February, rather than to try and pull something together this fall. So that's just something for you to think about a little bit. That would leave us maybe just doing more of our quarterly reporting in December, going into budget with what our current projects are, but then it would give you more opportunity. It'd be a little bit more robust process, I think, and especially if there will, obviously even with the slate of candidates for the council, there's not a lot of experience, and those of you that are staying on, I think would benefit as well from maybe just continued guidance on council role, processes, all those things that he could probably help lead. So that would be my recommendation for us to think about. So he's willing to come and make that proposal to the council about what he could provide. So maybe in the next month or so, I might bring him back to a council meeting and let him kind of share in a 10-minute proposal what he would be looking at. Sound reasonable? Okay. And then I did include in your packet just some conversations we've been having a little bit as staff. This is clearly a working document, not a proposal at this time. There's just a lot of moving parts. I guess I'm saying that kind of tongue-in-cheek with all the stuff that happens on sidewalks, trails, and paths with different kind of both self-propelled as well as motor-propelled items. I think we can all probably relate to the time where we were walking on the Landsmere Trail and somebody went by us on a bike and didn't really yield to a pedestrian. I don't think we want to chase bikes and e-bikes off those trails, but we can do a lot maybe with educating people on what would be good, maybe being courteous. How do you pass somebody? Really emphasizing the fact that we have to yield to pedestrians. But just by definition, it's a little bit hard. Depending on where you find the information on what was a motor vehicle. Well, some would say even just like an e-bike might be a motor vehicle. Well, I don't think we're going to kick e-bikes off of Landsmere Trail, but we clearly don't want four-wheelers and vehicles and those kind of things going down those. There's some places you're going to find definitions by the wattage of e-bikes and by scooters. Clearly, if they're over 750 watts, they become mopeds. You have to be licensed. You have to be insured. You have to have have an operator's license. The way our code reads right now is you're not supposed to operate scooters unless you're 16 years old. But we know we have a lot of violations for that. So I think we just need to maybe come up with some guidelines and then make sure that what we're enforcing matches our code. So we'll keep talking about this with staff, but if as you read that, there's anything you could give us as feedback or anything you know or a good practice that's happening somewhere else. I think there's a difference between the 4 and 5 foot wide sidewalks in our more downtown and then the 6 foot to 10 foot wide areas that go into our commercial area. What we did on the St. Paul, J Avenues. I think that's where we want to have someone riding their bikes, not having them on the road. And I'm starting to see quite a bit of use on those as well. So if you have any feedback for me, I'd welcome that. That is all I have.
Gary? No. Ryan? Jim? Matt? Kurt?
Just something quick. Questions come up at City Hall and with some of their people about the sidewalk ordinance that we put in, a policy for removal and replacement. The city does help in that now for the sidewalk that's within the right of way, up to $375 a square foot or up to $1,000. But what I really want to mention also on top of that is we don't cover from the sidewalk to the house. So a lot of the questions coming up are, well, if you replace that, will you replace the rest of it to my house? And it's like, well, no, that's on private property then. But I mean, if it's within the right of way, the city will help you pay for that. But anything after that is totally your responsibility. So, and yeah, the total out of pocket or from the city would be $1,000 depending on the project. So, and that just all gets approved prior to the work being done. So,
Have you had much interest?
not much. I think we paid out one. I've had a few people talk about, ask us about it, and then lately it's been just talk about the sidewalk to my house is bad. Will you replace that? And it's like, so hopefully, that's part of this too, is hopefully getting it out more. We do put it in our newsletter, that it's available, but yeah, we haven't had a lot of people taking it up yet. So hopefully it does, but it's there for the taking if people want to do it. So that's all I have.
Good. Appreciate it. Thanks, Kurt. Council? Brett, do you have anything?
Nothing.
No. Olivia? Yard? I don't have anything either, so I think we just need a motion to adjourn. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion